Hello everyone, welcome to the video series of the subject Object-Oriented Programming using Java. Myself, Hemali Shah. I am working as an assistant professor in LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this video lecture, I am going to cover the topic TCP socket programming, and this topic is a part of unit number 7, collection classes and networking. This is a part of actually networking, right? So in previous lecture, we have already done with the INET address class, the uses of INET address class to get the local host, machine IP address and host name, and you can use this INET address class to get the IP address of the hosted server, right? And this INET address basically represent the IP address in form of Java objects. Now, when you want to communicate between two devices having the JRE to exchange the data, this you can achieve by using the socket programming, right? So let's move on the socket programming concept. So here this is the TCP socket programming. The two types of socket programming is possible. One is connection oriented socket programming, and second is connectionless socket programming. This TCP is a transport layer protocol that provides the connection oriented socket programming mechanism. So this socket programming basically provides the communication between the two applications running on the different JRE. And you can communicate between these two JRE by exchanging the data between these two programs. These both are the Java applications, right? Now, this basically TCP socket programming you can achieve by using the two classes which are available in this network API, this java.net API. The one class name is socket and the second class name is server socket. By using these two classes functions, you can provide the communication between two programs that you have written inside the Java language, and both you are running on the different devices which are connected via network and having the Java runtime environment system installed, right? So which kind of application you can build by using this TCP socket programming? As I have already told you, when you are exchanging the data between the multiple devices having the application, that all kind of application you can implement by using TCP as well as UDP socket programming concept. You can implement chat application, you can implement the network based games also. So here in the network game base, we are actually exchanging the data only, and by interpreting the data received on a particular device, we are actually running our application logic, right? As well as you can build the datetime server also, you can create the calculator server also, and by using any client program, you can actually receive the service that which is provided by the server program, right? You can access the service provided by the servers. Now, so what are the functions which are available inside this socket and server socket class? So let's take a tour of this socket and server socket class. For that, I am having this Google Chrome having the J2SE APIs. So here this is the J2SE APIs. From this API, I am only moving inside this java.net package, java.net package. This is the net package. Now inside this java.net package, lots of classes are available. From that, to create the socket programming, TCP socket programming, these two are the classes that provides the TCP socket programming methods, having the socket programming methods, right? TCP socket programming methods. Now, see, first of all, we will focus on the constructor. First, this is the server socket class, right? Server socket class. Now, here these are the constructor. We will use this constructor server socket with int as a parameter, port number as a parameter. So, here you have to create one program that works as a server program that basically accepts the client request and establish the connection between your server program with the client program. For that, you have to decide the port number to execute your application. And in the application, we will create the server socket object, and this server socket will use this single port that you have used to create this server socket object. So this constructor we will use here this two argument another constructor both accept the int as a parameter, port and backlog. So when the multiple request arrives on the server, so how many number of requests you are going to allow as a backlog. So this is this backlog, that means how many multiple requests you can accept at the same time with the same server socket object, that you can decide over here, right? Many more to this two constructor. If you are going to use this no argument constructor, then you have to call some functions, bind and listen functions that you have compulsory have to use to bind the socket on the port, right? So here if we are not using the port number, then we have to use the port number with the bind function, right? So keep in mind we are using this constructor to create the object. Now these functions are available that you can call by using the server socket object. These all are the non-static functions, see here. So to call this function, you must have the object of server socket class, and by creating object with by using this constructor, you can call these many functions. Now lots of functions are available, but I am focusing only the important function that we will use in our program. First is a accept function of a server socket class. This basically waits for the client request. When request arrives on the computer node in the program, it basically establishes the connection between your server program with the client program. So to accept particular client request, we have to call this accept function on the server program, right? This accept function actually returns the object of the socket. The second class that I am going to introduce, the name of that class is socket, but this accept function returns the socket object. See here, I am focusing on this part. Here, after establishing the connection, your connection having the line, this line having two endpoints, these two endpoints basically referred by the socket object. So this when the connection is established, the one endpoint will be stored inside this return socket object, right? This bind function basically binds your program on the particular port number. All the network based application must occupy one port on your device. So this bind basically occupies the port for that particular application. This close basically release the occupied port in your machine. If you are not going to release the port by using the close operation, it might be possible you will not able to get that particular port again when you are running your program. And in the previous program there is a infinite loop, or is there any deadlock occurred and you didn't close this socket, that next time whenever you are running your program you might not get that particular port number to create the socket, right? So keep in mind you have to call the close function to release the port which is occupied by your server socket object. Now another function that we will use, get inet address, that basically returns the socket's inet address where you have created the socket. That particular machine's IP address will be written in form of inet address object. Get local port will return the port number of the server socket object. Is bound, is closed, this both actually checks whether the port is bind with the program or not, and socket is closed or still it is open for the communication or not. These two functions you can call with the server socket object, but very important, we will call only this accept function in our program, right, to establish the connection. Now let's move on the another class, the socket. You can click on this also, or you can search this class from the list and you can move in the socket class also. Both the way you can open the socket class in the Java documentation. Now in the socket class, which constructor we will use? These all are the constructors, right? So which constructor will we will use, and where we will use this socket constructor? So we will use this socket with two parameterized constructor. that accept INET address and port number as a parameter, or you can use this string as a parameter and integer port as a parameter. Here we have to convert our IP address into INET address object, then and only then we can create the object of socket. Here you can directly type your IP address in form of double quotes string format and you can create the socket object. Now what it actually does when you create this socket objects? So this socket object we are going to create at the client side program. This socket object basically requests for the connection. So when the server have the accept method call, that server accept that connection request and three-way handshaking done in as a background process, and you will get the connection between these two programs. One program in which you have created socket object and one program you have created the server socket object, and this accept function will return the reference of this created socket object. So one link will be established and the second endpoint will be represented by this object of this socket that you have created in your program. So here again, if you are not going to use this socket with parameterized host name and port number object, at that time you have to call this bind and accept bind function to bind your socket on the particular port. Close actually release the socket. Socket always occupies one port. That port will be released. Connect function you have to call at the client side. If you are not making a constructor with the parameters, at that time you have to call the connect function to make a connection between client program with the server program, right? Now very important function, this many functions are available, but important function get input stream returns the input stream. When I have teach you the IO programming, I have already told you you can read the data from the socket. Socket, that means connection established with another machine. So you can actually reading the data from the networkly available machine, and this reference you can get by calling the function get input stream. This return the input stream object. Right now, get local port returns the port which is occupied on the current computer. Get remote port is another function that actually returns the this remote port you can get by calling the function get port. It actually returns the port of the second end socket ports, right? So one link established having two endpoints. If you are calling this local port, then it returns the self machine occupied port. If you are calling only get port function, it actually returns the opposite side socket's local port number, right? Likewise, if you want to know where you have made the connections, that machine's IP address you can get by calling the function get remote address. This local socket address as well as there is a function for the remote socket address. Get remote socket address actually returns the remote machine's IP address where your program have made the connections, right? Now, such that get output stream function is available that provides the output stream object which is used to write something on a socket. And this get input stream basically returns the input stream object that basically provides to read something from the socket. Many more functions are available. Is bound, is closed, is all are same that I have already told you, right? ToString basically converts your socket stream into two that represent your object in form of string, and more functions that you can set the socket timeout period. This is a waiting time you can set by using the set socket timeout function. Set so timeout accept the time as a parameter, as well as you can get the socket timeout by calling the function get so timeout. So this function we will use, and all other you just need to make a visit only. So don't remember all the function, only focus on the important functions, right? Now let's move forward in our presentation first. So here let us do one program. For that, this is the first of all you have to understand the working of TCP program. So here in TCP you have one client program, you have one server program. In the client program, we are making the socket object. In the server program, we are making the server socket object that basically accept the request from the client, as I have already seen inside this client program. Now, as a background process, the server socket actually binds on some port that actually listen for some request that arrives on the particular machine on that particular port. When request arrives, it accepts the request and it makes the three-way handshaking and make a connection between the client program and the server program. Now, after making the connection, you can get the input stream and output stream object with the by using the socket object, by calling the function socket.getInputStream and getOutputStream. You will get the input stream and output stream object. And this connection, by using this established connection, you can read and write the data from the established stream. Here this is a TCP, so all the data will follow the same path which is established. Now when you close the sockets, it basically disconnect the communication and your connection will be removed, and after close function call you cannot communicate with the other machine's device, right? Such that you can stop the communication by using the close function also. Here I am going to end this session. Hope you people are clear with the concept of TCP socket programming concept, right? Thank you for watching it. Thank you all of you.